Do you know of any talks that have taken place whilst everybody's been in lockdown for potential opponents?
No, to be honest with you, I think it's been pretty quiet. To be honest with you, obviously there was little bits before the lockdown of who the potential next opponent was, and I was in camp for May 2nd for the potential Canelo fight, and then I knew if that never happened, I'd like to fight sometime in May. So I was in camp, but obviously all this has come about and it's kind of froze boxing for a few months. But the minute we get the green light again, I'll be on to ready to get me the biggest fight possible.
Obviously, we've seen you defend your titles against Hassan Endam in New York and John Ryder, who was a mandatory defence. Neither of those names were ever going to set the world alight. Hassan Endam,
No.
He's a multi-time world champion. He was moving up from middleweights, and naturally, everyone was looking at the size difference there. And you won in very convincing fashion there, your stoppage victory, and then with John Ryder, again, not a big name, but it was a mandatory defence you had to get through.
Yeah.
When boxing returns, are you feeling an added pressure now to fight one of the other world champions or Danny Jacobs, a big name?
It's just not pressure on my behalf because I'm not the promoter. I don't make the fight, but I feel myself they're the fights I want. I didn't know I'd become a world champion, and it was either you've reached the top of the mountain or set yourself new goals. And my goals were to go and have the biggest fights possible and see how good I really was and test myself. And ideally, I wouldn't have had the two fights that I've had since. They're not, in my opinion, they're not the big names. They're not the unification fights. And I thought becoming world champion within, I think I've been world champion a year and a half now. I thought I would have had a unification fight by now or a fight against one of the big names, and I haven't, but I'm still world champion. I've got to just stay patient, and I've had to show a lot of patience throughout my career, and it has paid off so far. So as long as I just continue to do what I'm doing, stay in the gym, keep busy, keep working, make sure I keep improving, I'm sure the fights will come, and I'll be ready when they do come.
I remember last year when you was kind of toying and kind of working around and looking through different offers from various promoters about maybe going to sign with them. Obviously, in the end, you signed with Eddie. Eddie, by his own admission, has said it himself. A lot of his fighters are only on one-fight deals. The same applies for you. Is there maybe any other temptations to look elsewhere, or are you still committed to sticking with the plan that Eddie's put in place?
Not at the minute. I said he's got a plan, and when this lockdown finishes, we'll sit down and see what it is. But I've always said it's a short career. I've got to do what's best for me. And last year when all that was happening, I feel like I went the best place for me, and I continue to do that. And if things change, then they do. But at the moment, I feel I'm in the best place for me possible, and we'll see what the future holds.
Let's just touch on some of those possible fights then. Danny Jacobs was a name that had been bandied about for a while, but only up until probably these past couple months ago, and more so when you went on the Instagram live with Eddie, but it really started to kind of gain some recognition as possibly happening. How long have you kind of been considering Danny as a possible opponent?
I don't know. He moved up to super middleweight. What he said, he's moving up after the Canelo fight. So, and when he was at Matchroom, I seen Matchroom mention him a few times, linked with me. So he's a big name outside the world champion. He's probably the biggest name in the division. So obviously apart from Canelo, but he's a good fighter. He's got a big profile over in the States, and a win over him would boost my profile definitely. But the minute he had a fight at super middle now, he beat Chavez, who's another big name in the division. His name come out there a little bit more. But I think listening to him speak, I think he wants another fight before fighting possibly myself or one of the other big names in the division. I think he wants to fight Gabe Rosado, which they had a bit of an argument in Arizona at his last fight. So that was the impression I was getting from. Listen, it may change with all this, lockdown and wasting time kind of thing. He's not the youngest. He's at the business end of his career. He probably wants the biggest fights possible, as I do myself. So it's a possible fight, and if he does want to fight and I have to fight, then it shouldn't be too hard to make. We're both with the same promoter, both fight on the same network, so it should be pretty simple. But again, it lies with him and what he wants to do.
Caleb Plant, obviously the IBF title holder. I remember back in February, he mentioned and he said in numerous interviews that he put an offer to yourself and Eddie and to Golovkin's team to try and make a fight with one of you guys. Where did all of that kind of end in the end?
I replied back. They never made an offer. I think they come on and said, would I be interested in a fight? And Eddie replied, yeah, if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, of course he'd be interested. So they said, well, we'll come back with an offer. And then obviously all this stuff's happened. But I seen an interview with him the other day saying, no, it still stands. He still would like to fight me once this is done. So that's a great fighter. Listen, I think he's a good fighter. I believe I'm the best in the world. And I want to be unified champion. So I think that's a fight that does excite me. That's a motivating fight. And it's a big fight for not only me, but for the division. So when all this finishes, maybe we can sit down and we can get a fight sorted. But it's hard, sitting here. I'm not going to call anyone out over social media, but it's a very good fight. And if he's interested, then I'm certainly interested.
How do you think the fight between yourself and Caleb will play out? Because all of you guys at the top of the division all got very different styles. There's nobody with a similar style.
Yeah, it's a good fight. He's a good boxer. He's got okay power, but I think his best attribute is ability, his skill. He's a good mover. He's quite slick. He throws a lot of combination punches rather than the one big power punches. And he's an unbeaten world champion, so he deserves respect. But I believe I beat him. I believe I'm the better fighter, and I'd like to prove it. I'd like to become a unified world champion. So hopefully, that fight can happen, whether it's next or whether it's in the future. I believe it will happen as long as we both keep winning.
I know you've just mentioned there as well, you're not one to call people out. As everybody will know, you're a very nice guy. You keep yourself to yourself. You're not looking to cause any issues. And once again, thank you for giving up some time to me today, because I know that you're not big on, doing many interviews. But do you ever feel like it has possibly hindered where you stand in the division, not calling people out, not being a bit more vocal?
Possibly. I've been told over the years you need to get yourself out more, you need to do this more on social media and get your profile, whereas I've always believed if I'm good enough and I keep winning, I'll become a world champion. If I become a world champion, I'll make the money. They're the two things people want out of the sport, and so far I've done that. I've kept winning. I haven't called anyone out. I've done me talking in the ring, so to speak, and cheesy as it sounds, and I've become a world champion. I'm the number one in the division, so I think I am proof that you don't have to call people out. You don't have to create this character. You don't have to be big on social media. So I'd rather be able to fight and not be a big person on social media than rather than there's some you've got who are big on social media and can't actually do it when you get in the ring. But so maybe I would be a bigger profile. Maybe I would be considered a little bit better if I was out there a little bit more. But I am who I am. It's not me. I'm not going to all of a sudden start becoming this character and calling people out, because I think people will just say, well, that's not really him. I think I've left it a little bit too late to start doing it, but I'm not going to, as much as I don't call people out, I am confident in my own ability, and I believe I'll beat any super middleweight in the world. I'm just not going to start calling them out on social media, but I'll never shy away from a fight, and every fight Eddie offers to me, I always say yeah, and I say I believe I'm confident I can beat anyone on the planet.
Before I do let you leave, Callum, I'm just trying to get your thoughts on a couple of fights away from your division. A lot of talk, obviously, the potential undisputed heavyweight title fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, if it was to happen in the near future. What are your thoughts on it if we was to see it?
It's a good fight. It's another one as a boxing fan I'd love to see. I think it's got to happen. Unified, all 4 belts, 5 including the Ring magazine, doesn't happen often, and it certainly doesn't happen with 2 Brits. We've never had that in all the belts belonging to Brits in one division. So I think it's got to happen. If it doesn't, it's a shame. But in terms of who wins, it's a tough one. I think at different stages in their career, I'm not one of them to judge people off the last performance and say, oh, he beats him. If you're going off form, then I think Fury's probably in the better form. He's coming off the bigger win. But listen, they can both beat each other. Fury could keep it long, box and frustrate Joshua. If Joshua catches Fury, he can hurt him, as he's shown. He can hurt a lot of other heavyweights. It is an interesting one. I'm probably going to sit on the fence, but I think if you're going off form, then you've got to go with Fury at the minute. But that's if the fight happens now. If the fight happens in a few fights down the line, then it could be different.
Another fight I wanted to get your thoughts on is Brook versus Crawford. Some talks there, Bob Arum mentioning it, Terence Crawford mentioning it. What are your thoughts if Cal Brook was to face Terence Crawford?
Look, it's a good fight. I do rate Cal. I think his inactivity and he had a couple of tough fights over the years that probably took a little bit out of him. Is he as good as what he was? Probably not. I think Crawford's a special fighter. He's a very, very good fighter and top 5 pound for pound. And it'll be a tough ask for Cal. I think stylistically it is a good fight, but I think you've got to lean with Crawford on that one.
previously Liam was mentioned to possibly face Cal on the back of Cal's victory in Sheffield last time out. Did anything go anywhere with that? What were the talks, if there were any, like?
I don't know. I think that the position they both been in, obviously they both were ready. They're both in similar positions, as in they both won a world title shot. Neither of them are world champions, but they're both probably good enough to become world champion again. And if Eddie couldn't deliver either of them a world title shot, then why not put them both in together, and the winner will probably earn a world title shot out of it. But I think with all this coming about with the COVID-19 stuff, it kind of really got put on pause. But I think they both want to fight. I think if Brook can get a Crawford fight or something like that, then he's got to choose that fight over Liam. Whereas I think if he can't secure any of that big fight and Liam can't secure a big fight, then I don't think it makes sense for them to fight each other.
Well, Callum, I will leave that there now because I know that you can want to have the rest of your evening with your family, and you've heard enough of my Birmingham accent.
He's done now, so.
But I appreciate your time, mate. I appreciate you giving it up.
No worries, mate.
Before I let you go, what would you like to say to everybody who will tune in and watch this interview?
Stay indoors, stay safe. The more you stay indoors, the quicker we'll be out of this and get back to boxing, and hopefully be boxing on the telly for everyone to watch.
Callum, I appreciate that, mate. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe as well. And I'll hopefully see you soon in person. Best of luck with the rest of quarantine and everything that's to come. And I hope Liam and his baby are well as well. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon, mate. Ta-ra.